Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to The Truth, where today we're going to go over this week for our last week for college football and this week, and I'll explain a little bit of how we're going to keep going on with these bowl games. So this week, or last week, we had Army versus Navy. Nothing surprising happened here. It's very much what we expected. It's kind of a slow, run it down your throat type of game, and that's what it was. But, it was nice to have something in the background on a Saturday. Going into next week is where we get interesting. So here's the plan. I'm going to cover Saturday, December the 16th for these bowl games. And then next week, I'll do Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, all the way to Saturday. And then start again for the next week after that. I'm breaking it down, going all the way. And each Saturday will be the last, and we'll break it down. So, getting to our first game, we have Georgia Southern versus Ohio. This is the Myrtle Beach Bowl. Nothing crazy here. It's Georgia Southern versus Ohio. Georgia Southern is 3.5-point favorites. Their quarterback has better statistics, running back has better statistics, and receivers have better statistics. But Ohio has 3 wins over Georgia Southern. It's kind of one of those games where it's like, we'll see how good Ohio really is, and then we'll see how hard Georgia Southern's conference is compared to another. Going into the next game, we have Jacksonville State versus Louisiana. This is kind of a game for Jacksonville State to kind of set itself up to be like, hey, we can win some games. Jacksonville State's 3-point favorites, and they lead in all 3 categories of passing, rushing, and receiving statistics, but they still have to win. It's in Louisiana, New Orleans, so it's going to be a little difficult. But they still have to come out with the victory. This is the R+L Carriers New Orleans Bowl, so it's going to be interesting to watch. And by the way, these are all, first one's at 10 a.m., second's 1:15. This game's at 2:30, Miami, Ohio versus Appalachian State. App's 5.5-point favorites. Miami only has 2 losses, but App's statistic in passing and receiving, while Miami's has the better statistic in running and rushing. App is favored 5.5, like I said before. This is the Avocados from Mexico Cure Bowl. At 2:30, it's a bowl game. App's favored. App's trying to get another win. It's good for recruiting, get back up to being a more dominant program. While Miami, Ohio is trying to kind of set themselves up for next season, because if they beat Appalachian State, it gets really interesting, because now you're 12-2. You're probably gonna get some recruits. Going into our game at 4:45, we have New Mexico and Fresno State for the New Mexico Bowl. New Mexico is favored 3.5 points, with their only better statistic being the quarterback statistic, the passing game. Rushing and receiving goes to Fresno State. 3.5 point favors for New Mexico State. The over-under is 51.5. I think this is going to be probably a close game. 4:45. This will be a fun game to watch. On Saturday, if you do want to watch it. At 6:30, you have the UCLA versus Boise State game. You have Boise State is favored in all 3 categories. And UCLA is not a bad program. They'll fight with you. They're 2.5-point favorites. Something to watch out for. Going into the 8:15 game for Saturday, you have the in Shreveport, Louisiana, you have the Radiance Technologies Independence Bowl, because that exists. Um, you have Texas Tech better in passing and rushing, while you have California in receiving. But Texas Tech is favored 3 points. I think this is going to be a fun, close game. And I'll probably, what my plan is to do is to watch all of these games and then talk about them with y'all next week. So that's my plan. If I were to pick favorites, I'd probably go Ohio, Jackson State, App State. The New Mexico and Fresno State's going to be a close one, but give me Fresno State. Give me UCLA, and then give me Texas Tech. You know, some of these programs playing harder competition. I feel like that's why they're there, and I feel like that's how they're going to get their wins. It's just because like they are a better team. They just play in such a harder competition that they don't have the same wins as the other team. Let me know what y'all think. Sorry for the short video. It's just we don't have a lot to talk about, but here it is. Tomorrow's video is going to be a little different since my rankings won't change since we only had one game. It's going to stay the same. I'll surprise y'all tomorrow. So thank y'all for watching, and I will see y'all next time.